is Chef Cicely, and I'm joining you today from the Divine Cafe at the Springs Preserve. And today we are doing double duty in the kitchen. So I'm going to start off first with my early morning delight by simply boiling some potatoes. Now, this isn't often a very tricky process. It's simply a matter of potatoes in the pot, enough water to cover those potatoes. But to give it a little bit of extra special flair and a nice sweetness on those potatoes, I'm actually gonna add a little bit of vinegar to the water and then a touch of salt. And the reason I want that extra flavor, perhaps for a little bit of pungency, is because I'm gonna wrap those potatoes in bacon. So once those potatoes are done, I'm going to wrap them up nice and tight in a little bacon blanket and then bake them in the oven to render off the bacon fat and also cook the bacon. Whoops. Grab one of these guys. I'm gonna take it, put the potato in the middle, and then that's gonna get folded over. You'll notice there's an area where the bacon overlaps, it's double layered. And when I put that onto my sheet pan or my baking sheet that's lined with parchment paper and a drying rack, and I also love doing bacon in the oven because then all of that splatter isn't something I have to clean up later either. When I place it on the sheet, I'm gonna put that double portion facing down. As the bacon renders and it begins to tighten and pull up, that's gonna create its own seal because midway through the process, I'm gonna flip these guys over, and then these two edges of the bacon are gonna be stuck together. Those potatoes are going to bake in the oven at about 350 for about 20 minutes. Midway through the process, I'm gonna turn them over. But what I really wanna do during the process is actually make the rest of my breakfast. I'm also going to make an absolute favorite, and that is French toast. But I'm gonna do French toast a little differently, just like bacon and eggs, doing it a little differently. So what I've got here is some very nice, dense and hearty whole wheat bread. A little muffin tray right on over here. And instead of leaving the bread pieces whole, mixing my cinnamon and vanilla extract and nutmeg and a little bit of lemon juice, always adds a nice little zinger to stuff, and a little bit of melted butter to my whipped eggs. I actually took my bread and cubed it up. So this is a great thing to do, particularly if a piece of bread's getting a little bit dry or on the staler side. So I've got a nice big mixing bowl here. I'm gonna pour in my eggs, pour in some melted butter, and about a half a teaspoon of the cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, bit of vanilla, touch of the lemon juice, and then I am going to combine all of this together. And I want the bread to totally soak up all of that eggy goodness, just like I would if I were doing French toast. I actually like to double dip my French toast. So I'll normally dip it in the egg and then put it on the griddle and then let it sear a little bit, and then I get a little sneaky. I pull it back off, I dip it back in that egg. So I want, for that nice, dense flavor, plenty of egg. And once I've got a nice incorporated mixture there, I'm gonna go ahead and grab onto my muffin tin. You could line a muffin tin with paper liners, or you could also do it with a little bit of melted butter. Either one's fine, it's simply about preference. And then working in little scoops, I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this up. So once those muffin tins are nice and filled, I've got one more step before these guys go in the oven. Same temperature as those bacon wrapped potatoes, about 325 for about 10 minutes, so a little bit less time on these ones. But what I'm gonna do before they go in the oven is a little bit of maple syrup drizzle right on over the top of each one. And when that maple syrup bakes, it's gonna make just this nice kind of sweet candy top right over this gooey French toast little muffin. All right, last one. As I said, these guys go in the oven at about 325 for about 10 to 15 minutes till they're nice and golden brown right on the top. And here we have a bountiful Sunday morning or early weekend breakfast, and we also have some grab and go delicious bites through the rest of the week. So whatever day it is, I hope to see you here at the Divine Cafe at the Springs Preserve. Thanks for joining me.